Hello, my friends, and it is time to talk allergen control. I'm reasonably certain I'm live. I don't know. There we go. Yes, we are in fact live. I am doing this on my computer as opposed to on my phone because my phone's acting weird. This is actually going to be our penultimate day on our 30-day challenge because I am almost done with the risk-based policies. And so what that means is that what I've done is I've gone through all of the policies that you need to have when you're going to go get yourself an audit. Okay, and we started at the beginning of the month. We started with things like we did preventive maintenance and environmental monitoring, and we did a whole bunch of things. And now we're coming into the home stretch. Okay, and so today is allergen control, and tomorrow we're going to be doing HACCP, and HACCP from a policy perspective more than anything else, okay? Because there's a HACCP policy and then there's HACCP execution. They're two different things. Well, allergen policy and allergen execution, also two different things, and it ties pretty closely to your HACCP planning. And so my first question for you when you're looking at this stuff is, do you have allergens? Now, believe it or not, even if you don't process food with allergens, you still have to have an allergen control program. And what that looks like is looking around your facility and understanding what your what your risk for allergens is, because I want to know, are people coming to work with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or tuna fish sandwiches or dairy in the bread for their sandwiches? You get the idea. Like, all the allergens count when you're going after an audit. Less so if you're not going after an audit, but they all count when you're going after an audit, okay? And so you need to be like out there in your production facility looking and understanding where your allergens are. Now, your allergen control policy is clearly going to start with, do you make products with allergens? If you don't know what the allergens are, in the United States, we have the big 8 allergens. All right, and so those are dairy and eggs, wheat and soy, shellfish, scalefish, tree nuts, and peanuts. Make anything with those 8 things, you make the big 8 allergens, and you have to account for how you're going to control those allergens in your production process. Do a lot of that control through sequencing and all of that good sort of stuff. And so when you look at your risk analysis for allergen control, your risk for allergenic cross-contamination, if you produce some things with allergens and some things without them, is the highest. That's the highest level risk that you can have for allergen issues. If you produce nothing with allergens, you have a pretty low risk. And if you produce everything with the same allergen, that's also a fairly low risk. It's when you mix and match and you make, like one thing with dairy and wheat and one thing with, I don't know, shrimp and soy, okay? And then you don't make all of those at the same time. So you really have to understand what your whole process is and whether or not you produce food with allergens, okay? And that's, I wish it was more complicated than that, but it really, really isn't. And that's your risk analysis, and then the next thing I want you to ask yourself is how about the ingredients that you get in? From a USDA perspective, what we say is that if you get an ingredient in that has more than one ingredient, so you get like a spice mix or something like that, that is automatically a higher level of risk for allergens, so you need to account for that in your allergen control programming. All right, if you are in an FDA facility and you have allergens, you must have an allergen preventive control. If you need to know what that is, you need to take the preventive controls class. Okay, and so we have preventive controls class, and put a comment in here, and I will point you in the right direction for taking preventive controls class. But this whole allergen process is designed to support your preventive controls process, or if you're in USDA production, your allergen control planning. Because as I said in like the intro here, allergens and improper allergen labeling is the most common cause of a recall. Okay, and so if it's the most common cause of a recall, then you are most likely going to be hit with an allergen recall at some point, even if you don't have anything with allergens in it. Just because sometimes when these things go out, you may have bought something from somebody at some point, and it's gonna like, it's gonna buckshot you and reverberate on you. So that's allergen control planning. Thanks so much, guys. Talk soon.